Dumelang and welcome to Mommy Diaries. This show is about parenting, motherhood, and this amazing journey ya ho hodisa bana ba rona. This episode is brought to you by Ackermans. It's Ackermans. This look is from Ackermans. You can stand a chance to win this look. We are giving away 5 vouchers valued at 500 Rand. I am so excited because I've been wanting Ausu Ona on this show. And finally she came and she decided can strive.
Yes, I got the memo, darling.
Thuli, welcome to Mommy Diaries.
Thank you for having me. It's about time.
It's about time. I know. And I just love how you've been supporting Mommy Diaries because I see your comments, I see your DMs, and I just love you. Thuli Thabethe ke mang?
Yo, what a question. Well,
Do you hate that question?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah.
But more like which version are you addressing right now? So Thuli Thabethe ke Aus Thuli.
Aus Thuli.
She just turned 40.
Oh, so you want me to call you Aus Thuli?
No, I'm just letting you know where am I. Not where am I. Where am I? No,
Ausi.
Yeah, but you must calm down. Mina passing be yourself.
Yes. Ke hi. Yes.
I'll meet you where you are.
Yes. So how about OC Bale who are obsessed with being called OC? Because you know especially in our industry, there's this thing about OC who are older than us.
Yes.
And we grew up ka hlompho to respect the elders and say Aus Pulani, Aus Lerato. You're not fussy about that, right?
I'm not really fussy about that, but I think it's normal with people that are older than you. And I'll be damned at 40 with a 20-year-old doing, hi, Tools. I'm like, when did I become your Tools? I was two. You know, just because there is a 20-year-old difference. But obviously, in Tangazami, we can be...
Tools down.
Yes,
tools down.
Yeah.
Tools up. Thuli Thabethe ke mang, where you from? I don't know. Like I try to do research, but you don't do interviews a lot.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I think I became media shy, to be very honest with you, Pasi.
Yeah.
And and then after that, I just went into my little cocoon and I just became someone like, you know what, let the work speak for me.
Yeah.
And other reasons that we'll obviously unpack later on in the interview. But uThuli, in terms of Soweto, literally Meadowlands, Dobsonville. And then I grew up with my grandmothers, just like all kids. Our parents had to go and work, 9 to 5. So go. And privileged enough to go to good schools. And then when we got our freedom, as they say, and then we moved to the suburbs, because now we can integrate from Meadowlands. So Akulela in the south of Joburg, Naturena. And I mean, you're going to have to ask me specific questions. I like conversations. I don't do well with
the,
when did you start? Let's talk, let's flow.
And then,
with the choni.
And then Thuli, Haneli, like when you were little Thuli, have you always been like this? Hello, Papa?
Yes. I mean, my mom says I was always on stage. Like, energy, being Papa. Like, all girls look, she need party, umkusha.
You are there.
Siyadlalisa, zamara station.
Yes.
Uglingisa. And we'd obviously act out the scenes from the stuff we were watching, which was The Bold and the Beautiful and Days Our Lives.
Were you
and you'd be like, Yimo Brooke, Yimo Ridge, Yimo Stephanie. Yes.
I mean,
not with all the things she was doing, but
the performance. The fact that Brooke used to cry one, I remember.
Yes.
I used to think I don't know why actor.
Yo.
It was a thing.
Yeah, and on cue. Stephanie.
Why did you do that to me? And then
on time.
Yeah. And the change from moving from Soweto to the south, was there any change at all? Because Soweto is different, I can assume.
Yes, definitely.
I'm going to now the suburb when only wa kumsha.
Yes, definitely there was a change, but I think we welcomed it because I was besfunda multiracial, so transport would fetch you and you'd wake up at 5 to be out of the hood, at 6 to be at school at 7. So we were integrating little Bronwyn, little Caroline, but yes, there is a difference. But you can like literally ask the neighbors to help you out, literally ask for milk and sugar, and there's a sense of community. Like you're in your own yard and you're in your little island, and we had to adjust, like because like we were in the suburbs. But there was an adjustment of showing the difference between community.
And acting. Like I'm moving fast forward to acting because I remember the first time I saw you. Like, ne ke le ko Bloemfontein, ke shebile TV. And I've always known I love acting. And I've always known that I want to be an actress. But I know my strength.
Yes.
And my strength is comedy.
Yes.
So most of the time when I watch like body sitcom and you know at the time the sitcom ni let's go America where yeah when audience
we canned laughter.
Yes. And then when we watched City Says La, that's where I saw you the first time. I was so obsessed with you. First of all, it felt like, I don't know, it felt like you playing yours. I didn't know you, but it felt like you are so good that I couldn't even know gore ekaba also ona at home uchwang.
Yeah.
Acting career, how and have you always wanted to be an actress?
Sure. Like I said, my mom says I was always on stage, or just loved attention. Like, you know, like how it is, like I'm a society, or like I'm a braai, and like the parents end up sitting together, and then we would be the ones like we're just ready.
Entertaining
We're
them.
ready for any entertainment. Like, watch us. This is the dance we just prepared for you. And we just never wanted to get off.
Yeah.
So I think I thank my mom because she was just like, oh, we grew up in the south of Joburg. I could have gone to Mondio High.
Yeah.
I could have gone to Parktown Girls. She was like, lo, le energy le. We need something that's going to hone it down and just calm it down. I'm gonna send it to art school. So I'm grateful that my mom saw something in me and sent me to a non-traditional high school and took me to NSA. And obviously I was around people like me who were always on. So it was just hectic.
Yeah.
City Sesla was my first big break, but the first job I got was a featured extra. Yes, on Isidingo. And for those of you who don't know,
I heard.
Literally, undlula nekamera ulethu bhaka. You know, ulandifile lezo lethu bhaka, hands into the floor. And that's all you do. No lines, nothing. And I was just happy because I guess that was my first job. And I think that was a good one. You know, my first job on Isidingo.
Yeah. But recently we always get advised the other way, you shouldn't start as a featured extra. Would you advise anyone who's starting the industry to take the opportunity if it was given to them?
I guess it depends. So for me, the person that invited me was already my acting coach.
Got you.
I don't know if you know Maggie.
I do.
Karen van der Laag. So she taught me in high school, and she was like, oh, here's somebody, it's 2-3 calls, we don't really have to talk, I've trained her, come through. So had it come in another way, maybe, but because it came from a teacher who knew that I have no experience, where can I just fig and just steering? When did I have on-set experience?
Yes.
When did I even get the opportunity? So it was like the foot in, and then I did what I could, or the best I could, to like, y'all gonna see me, even if it's the corner of my eye, you know. And then the featured extra, one more line, and then one line becomes a paragraph, and a paragraph, now you have a whole page, and then a whole page, now you can actually audition for not even a character that has a name. It's young journalist, young mother. You still don't have a name yet. You know, young policeman.
Yeah. And then you move to Successla.
Yes, then you have a Pumilla. Now there's a name now.
The same name.
It's the same name.
But how was that? I really enjoyed you there. How was that?
Thank you so much. So I think we all know the original Pumzile was played by the late Lucy Luchai. And she set that character up. And I still say to this day, I might have been able to play Pumzile, but not quite like Busi. The opportunity came because she had an opportunity to play a big role on BBC. And she was just like, do I take BBC or do I do a second season of City Sesla? So she chose to pursue her career. I get a call. They asked me, can you audition? At the time, I was too young, and I do this in inverted commas. And they were concerned because I came across too Model C, by the way. And I was like, excuse me.
The tongue is wrong. I can hear it now.
So I had to convince them. Then the second one was, can I fill these shoes? Because I actually had set her up. There were certain things that Pumzile was doing, like the ear thing, and then and there's certain things, and I'm like, you can't write for this character. Busi took it to another level. She used to tell me, no, you can't write for Pumzile. How can you say Spanish Jones your mail? Where can you write that? You can't write that. It's Spanish Jones. You know? And so I got the role, and I managed to play her.
You did.
And I'm grateful that we both won a SAFTA, because I know she'd never let me live it down. If I didn't, she'd never. So I was just like, what? Utini.
And the industry is so tricky.
Yes.
You know, when people are watching us, they think you're homonati, we're having fun. They don't understand the work that we do, what it comes with. It comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with stress. it comes with why Kare, must I say more?
No. As you speak, that
You see it
I
today?
want to add on, but yes, I want to.
Please add on. Like it comes with
the demand,
the demand,
the hours,
yeah,
and also people don't know. Okay, we'll speak later about it. I'll just set this up for you that I'm also a coach, and I often teach the kids at actor spaces that people don't know that actors are actually, we are emotional and psychological athletes. So we might not train like LeBron James and Michael Jordan because it's not physical. But mabati kala manje, where do you think these tears come from?
Yeah.
There's no on and off button,
Yeah.
and then now you must kill this person now, and people don't know that we work in non-sequence. So you'll end up killing the person, and then you've got to love him again, and then you have to remember that we're happy or we're sad, and these are ups and downs. Like, can you imagine the mental toll it takes on you, right?
It does. Yeah, yes. It has. I mean, for me also, the time thing.
Yes.
Because now when we're sitting during these podcasts, we ask questions about how do you balance, and I'm like, I don't balance. I don't know the balance. I don't know because you can't be everything at the same time.
Yes.
And then it takes away from time with our kids.
Yes. Oh, the time. Yes.
Yeah, and the anxiety. I have issues with anxiety. It has gotten worse over the years because of the type of work that we do.
I just love how you're open about that. So can I just sidebar?
Yeah.
We had this conversation in my passage in my studios, and I admire how you were very open about, now I can't my anxiety.
Yeah.
I've been suffering in silence, Basi, because of the stigma and obviously judgment. So I was just so liberated by your ability to just go, yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. And I'm just like, look at you, so open and so bold. And that goes to show how far you've met yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I've learned every day to look at myself and just like take accountability and responsibility of the things that I, sometimes when it comes to anxiety, it's not always something that's happening in your life.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just like for no reason.
Exactly. Your body's just exactly. Your body is just doing its thing. Your hormones are just doing their thing.
And how do you try your best to make sure that you still take care of Thuli, even in this industry that we're in that takes so much from us and gives so little? At the same time. I always say that's the truth. How do you deal with that, like making sure that you take care of Thuli?
Okay, thank you for that question. So I've been in the game for 20 years. I started in 2004. I was 19 years old. I've just turned 40. And in your 20s, your relationship with the industry is very different.
Yeah.
There's this thing, like, I wouldn't call it pick me, but you're 20, you're young, you're impressionable. I want to make an impression. I'm going to take over the industry. I'm going to take over. I'm going to be a lead. And then the realities show you what you're watching overseas and your experiences in South Africa are two different things. Red carpet are two different things. Then you have to learn to lower your expectations. That's disappointment number one. Then you have to also deal with, I wouldn't say mediocrity sometimes, because sometimes we're just like just happy to just rush through the work and get it in the can, and you want to do work, I want to do something serious, I want to feel, and sometimes there's no time, so there's also balancing that. And then as an artist, that also chips away at you, because they'll tell you, don't take it personally. What do you mean? I bring all of me to set. I'm going to take it personally on a good day or a bad day, because I bring all of me to set. I bring my toolkit, my skill set, I bring my experiences, my emotions, all these things make me. So you end up realizing I've given and I'm giving and I'm giving, and sometimes an industry that does not pour back. Right? And these are your 20s because you want to be booked, you want to be busy, you want to get the credits, you want to book the work so that you can have the car, the house, and you do get those things, and then you start to realize that, hang on, I'm not happy, because I thought I was undiagnosed for a very long time, because I thought maybe my behavior was normal, and then I started realizing there's a pattern here. I'm not happy. I thought if I got that job, I'd be happy. If I got that degree, I'd be happy. If I got that car, I'd be happy. If I was made it on the biggest show and I got the SAFTA, and there was still a sense of doom and loom. And then I had to check and ask and go in and say what's wrong. And then I kind of discovered that there was this thing called depression and anxiety, and I didn't know what it was. You just think, oh, these are just the emotions you go through. Oh, it's normal. I've been working 5 days a week, but you're unraveling.
That's true.
And sometimes you're not even knowing that you're having an episode.
Yeah.
So I had to have through my own trial and errors, and my own personal and professional trial and errors, to get to a point where I'm just like, okay, Let's check in.
Yeah.
And that's how I discovered, you know.
And once, like any other, I'll say, even if when you've got flu, let's say you've got symptoms of something.
Yes.
Then you go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you, oh, the reason why you're feeling this way is because of 1, 2, 3. Even though it's not nice, but there's a sense of relief that at least now I know what I have.
Yes.
Did you have that relief? Okay, fine, now I get it. Because in the beginning, it was that I'm, like you're saying, I'm winning, I'm ing, and then when you understood the diagnosis, did it come with some sort of relief at least, and you know what you're dealing with?
Oh, lovely question. So for me, and I'm only feeling open and strong enough to speak about it now because I think we kind of suffered in silence. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister and I, because my dad was bipolar and he never spoke about it. So he suffered in silence. He called it this thing. So you can imagine as two young girls growing up with this situation, and the owner, I won't say the owner, but umnikazi wendaba is in denial. So you can also imagine we were also in denial, and we refer to this thing as this thing. We didn't know whether it's bipolar, is it depression, is it anxiety, but we knew that my dad is not okay. And just like you say, going to the doctor, it's one thing to break your arm. You can see, you break your leg, you have cancer, you can diagnose it, you get on treatment. How do you even begin to speak about something you can't see, touch? You know what I mean? How do you even say, you're just not okay, right? So for me, it was liberating, not a relief.
Gosh.
I already knew, okay, if dad has this, then genetically, somehow we are going to inherit it. So I ran away from it. You know, when you're like, the worst thing that could ever happen to you is like, I don't want to be like my dad, and I don't want to be, but you can see it. You're being confronted by the symptoms, confronted by the pattern, and you're like, boom, there it is. Damn, it got me. And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So I was just like, how dare I run away, or how long was I in denial of not coming to terms with it could also affect me. So when I was diagnosed, it was like, I am going to be different. I'm going to talk about it. Where he didn't take meds, I would take meds. Where he didn't speak, I'm going to speak. Where he wasn't liberated, I'm going to be liberated. And that's been my journey and my kind of legacy to him. Like, you didn't speak about it while you're alive.
I'll do it.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Tissue. I hate you for doing this.
I'm sorry.
And I've seen how you do it with all your guests, Basi.
I know. I'm sorry. Get tissues, Andy. Tissue again.
Yeah.
And once talking about it and being open about it, has that come with any disadvantage in terms of like, you know, sometimes it comes once you tell people you have problems with anxiety, you open about it, you're helping people about it. Because I remember there was a time you came to my old coffee shop with Nomvelo.
Oh, yes.
And then you guys that's the first time I heard you speak.
Yes, and it was called Matters of the Brain with
the Brain.
Petile. Yes.
That's the first time I heard you speak about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people judge you. When I say judge you, it's like, oh, we don't want to work with someone who's got anxiety or depression, or you know, relationships. Sometimes we're like, oh, depression or anxiety, so hey, it's a no-go area.
Yeah, well, thank you for that question, because part of the suffering in silence is you don't want to, oh no, I'm not going to speak about not being okay or not feeling 100%, because I think as human beings, I consider myself a battery, and sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low, and sometimes if only and completely charge it. And we're not so free to say, today, out of 100, I'm a 10.
Yeah.
Or I'm a 60. Or you got me on 80, girl. You better pay, it's a happy hour. Let's go. So you're afraid to share that stuff because of the stigma and the judgment that comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I can't really pinpoint to have things changed, but there was a sense of silence after I had kind of spoken out, and I hadn't spoken out publicly. You know, the forms that we sign before we do our medicals, where you say. And so I had been quiet for a long time, and so I decided to declare. And in that declaration, I started realizing that I wasn't being booked as much as I wanted. So there's a silent, we don't want to deal with that. But I've also realized the more I spoke about it, I started to attract work that was for me. And I was inspired by Bonnie. Sis Bonnie Mbuli wrote a book eye bags or eye bags and dimples. And she was an actress who I also looked up to. And I was just like, if she can open up about her struggle, and she's in America now, my darling, was keeping my color.
Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
So it's people like her who are brave enough to say, you know, and I look at her pattern and I'm like, the minute she spoke, she was able to attract the right team, the right jobs that would be like, how are you, Bonnie? All right, so this job's going to take you for 6 months. What do we need to do to help you? You need the kids around? You want someone, you know what I mean? So now you start getting work for you.
For you.
And sometimes it's not going to be booked and busy, but when it's for you, uNkulunkulu uzokunikeza umsebenzi odalelwe wena.
Kanako yeo ya
Isikhathi sakhe, and it won't take away from anything. I wa tseba gore ke mme wa ruri.
Yeah.
So even the jobs don't take away from being mme wa ruri.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then I wonder how work Osboni, it's opportunities also come. It doesn't matter whether it didn't happen in your 20s.
Yes.
You know, it happened later on in her life, and she's living her dream.
At the right time,
At the right
bakhulile, she can be in LA, you know, and do the things, and the kids are homeschooled. So yes, this is not the Bonnie interview, but that just goes to show how much I admire her. I've read her book, I follow her, you know, and I get we don't read captions. Now we just scroll. Now I take time and I read.
When you read captions,
and I watch the videos, you know what I mean? Because you've got something to say.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah. And if someone would come and ask you now, like, isn't like, what's the time now? How are you? What would you say? Like, how are you doing?
I'm in such a... thank you for asking that question. I feel like I'm being held. That's how I feel. Right now, you can hear I'm congested. I feel sick, but my heart and my spirit, being in this room with you today and the space that I'm currently in, I feel held. Held. I feel safe. I feel seen. I feel fought for. I feel protected.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay. You're not going to ask me?
How are you feeling?
Sure. Like now?
Yeah.
Now I'm happy.
Yeah.
But before I came here, I was not happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you going to cry?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I was not happy. I feel like I'm too hard on myself, you know? And I feel like I carry so much by myself. Even though, like, we always preach this whole thing that there's a community around us, there's your mom, your sister and whatnot. At the end of the day, sometimes they're just there because they're dealing with their own things, and when you have to deal with your own things. I was just like, kuningi. Yeah, but once I'm in the space, I leave the kuninginess outside. I probably will go back to it when I leave.
So you've parked it?
I've parked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you do that and not allow yourself? Because I'm happy that you can park it, but I pray that you never suppress. Yeah. Because you seem like someone that can work, and go. And when you're not on, it's like, what's wrong?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I saw it last week. I was invited to some event, Yabumme.
Yes.
And they were talking about motherhood and stuff. And it's one of the guests that I've once had on Mommy Diaries. And they asked me a simple question, like I'm asking you now, how are you doing? And I cried in front of everyone. Because I realized, well, I've been going, and I haven't been breathing and just being by myself and just like resting.
Rest is underrated.
Rest is underrated. Yeah. Sleep is underrated.
Sleep is underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to answer this for you, but I kind of get why. But this is not the therapy session. This is not the fussy therapy session. So I don't want to get into that. But you are hyper independent.
Yeah.
And I can identify it because obviously being raised by a single mom, we've never really seen umuntu or calm. You know, it's always like, gotta go, school routine, bills need to be paid, and there's no time. So maybe in your life, you've never seen a woman who can just be in her chill era. That's why it's about soft girl era. It's balegile, guys. These are not just posts.
Yes.
They are reminders, don't be hard. Get out of your head. Get back into your body and be soft. And it's difficult because some of us have to play the roles of mom and dad, right?
True.
And right?
Yeah.
And obviously, when it means you're hyper vigilant, hyper independent, because excuse my French, these MFs cannot be trusted.
No.
So,
No.
no.
No, no, no. No, baby. No, don't
So,
lie.
Ula.
Yana ew. You're so right, because I always thought, ne, like, you know, when things are happening around you, like your friends or whatnot, most of my friends, like, they married right.
Okay.
You know, where they're relaxing, they've been taken care
Are
of.
they?
That's a good question.
Are they?
You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, maybe this is not my journey. Maybe my journey is different. Maybe now I must just be go, and be independent.
Yeah.
I can see, because I think even if I would, I'm not gonna get married again. But if no,
Wow.
yeah, I wouldn't.
That's wow. Okay.
Would you wanna get married?
I was on that steez like in my 20s. Obviously, after my breakup with Rui's dad, I was just like, I'm not doing this. It's not worth it.
When I get married,
At 40, I am a little older and wiser, and I've healed, and I have a different perspective. Then it felt like control and having to serve and not fully understanding it, because I didn't have the maturity. I mean, I was 24, he was 28.
Yeah.
We were both in the industry, and there were lots of expectations, and also there was a kid involved, so there was this pressure to be married. So did we even do it because we were ready, or we did it because of the pressures? So in my 20s, I was very angry, Basi.
Really?
Yeah. And now I'm just like, I'm open to it, but when it comes. And being 40, you can imagine the stress, because you're thinking you're 40, you don't are married, you're not settled down, are you gonna have another one? And I'm just like, I don't know if I want another one. You know?
Yeah. Does it get lonely?
In terms of?
Like being...
No, go for it. I'm happy to open up.
No. I know. I'm stopping because who said you are single? I was gonna say being single, but who said you're single? Nobody said you're single.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm like, whoa, brika. But like, does it get lonely? Like not being married? Let me put it like that, because I'm not gonna diagnose you and say you are single.
It does get lonely.
Yeah.
And the dating field does change when you have a child. I find that I'm a lot more pickier. And because I'm older, I'm more set in my ways. So the tolerance levels are like 0 to to nothing, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So into yokubegezela nginayo shema, and Lord, I pray you help me with that. You know, ke prayer point.
Yeah, how big is it?
Yeah, to have a little bit of tolerance. It's not cute to not have tolerance, Basi.
What's the difference between tolerance and patience? Because I think I would rather, I want to be patient, but I don't want even a little bit of tolerance.
Yeah,
Man, I guess I understand.
Patience, you can't give people patience when you don't love them. Tolerating is just like, no, I'm putting up with you right now, and I'm so glad. It's like a baby. I can tolerate a 2-year-old because I know that at some point I'm going to send you back to your mom.
Yeah.
Whereas when you've got your own 2-year-old, you need to exercise patience.
Yeah.
It hits different.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to be a lot softer, trust me. And I think it's important for me to share this, because I think I do come across as a strong woman.
You do, yeah.
And I'm probably the most mushy and the most sensitive, but that only comes out with someone that I can be mushy and sensitive to. So if you're not allowing that to come out, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And so at some point I need you to drop that guard when you're ready.
I think if I would get married, we must live in separate houses. I give at least Tim. Why are you laughing at me? Like, have your own house, I'll have my own house. I'm enjoying my space right now.
Thing.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my
space. So anyone
space.
that comes into the space has to be out of this world for you to even let go to share it, right? I can totally relate.
Senzenina. Anyways,
you took it there.
I did.
I will meet you where you are.
Yeah. Being a mom, have you always wanted to be a mom?
Yeah, I think so. Because even when, playing with dolls, I always had dolls, and I know you can't obviously liken the child to a doll, but there's always that sense of,
Nah, not so bad.
And then also looking after my own cousins and my own, especially the little ones, the brothers. I realized that I could be really good at this, because I was just diligent
Yeah.
at being responsible. Like, you know, like when with the oldest kid, you can actually leave at home and you can actually cook and do all of that. So I knew that if I ever did it, I'd be excellent at it.
Yeah.
So I think I did want to be a mom. And to answer your question, I wanted to be a boy mom.
And it happened.
It did, because I realized what a nightmare I was as a teenager. And I was just like, yo.
How about yeah?
Because my mother's like, yabona into ongenza yona. Umntana wakho uzokuyenza yona 10 times. Yabona into ongenza yona. So I was just like, God, Lord, I don't want my daughter to put me through what I put my mom through. So I'm grateful I got a boy.
Yeah. Take me through the day you found out you were pregnant.
Oh, thank you for asking. I found out in London. I was with my cousin and my sister. Umbali had taken a gap year, and I was with my aunt, Umamkulwam. And I was in the bathroom, and you know how it is as girls, a house full of girls, we're all just walking around, you know, in our tops, you know, when our guards are down, in the house. So like, you know, Umamkulwam in the bathroom, and she looks at me and she goes, "Are you bloated?" And I'm just like, yeah, hey, and I've been waiting for my period. It hasn't really come. And it was supposed to come around like the 20th of December that month, and it didn't come. So I was just like, listen to me, in my 24-year-old brain. Maybe the period is still finding itself because I'm somewhere above the equator. That was the thinking. Yeah. No, yes, they say told about time zone. That's what
happens.
I thought.
Hey.
And then she was like, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And until she planted that seed, it never occurred to me, right? And then on that day, when you fall with no reason, you're pregnant. And on my way to the pharmacy,
you fell.
I fell, like unprovoked. There was nothing slippery. It wasn't snowing. It wasn't raining. There was nothing that incredibly. Boots Pharmacy. Boots Pharmacy is equivalent to like a Discount or a Clicks.
Yeah.
Ngangena ngathatha iclear blue. Basi mangithi bengakaqedi nokuchama. Yabo my that's double.
Pregnant.
What? Huh?
That's
how I found out. I called Tavo. I was supposed to come home on the 28th, and he was like, "Okay, I'm sending you money right now. You're coming home, not now, but right now."
Yeah.
And then I was home by Christmas. So it was really about his response to it that was like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, this is interesting. Let's see, you know."
Because there's nothing I can imagine like calling someone that you, whether in a relationship with or married to, and telling them you're pregnant about,
yeah, I'm not ready, this was not the plan.
Yeah.
So when he said you're coming home,
that assurance, you are in good hands.
I was like, oh, okay, because I wasn't ready, but I just want a SAFTA.
Yeah.
No, in fact, I won my SAFTA when I was pregnant with Rue, but like, you know, I just made a name for myself as Thuli Thabethe playing Pumilla. So there were no roles for pretty young ladies who were pregnant.
No.
So there was also that for me, you know.
And then motherhood overall. How has motherhood been?
It is the greatest love story. It is beautiful. It is painful. It is messy. It will take the life out of you. It will demand so much, but it's also the most rewarding thing. And I think Ruri saved me. I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't become a mom and still pursue my career, you know. Yeah.
How did he save you?
Like, I often say, like, God will send you children that are just, that are meant for you.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm grateful that it's a boy.
Yeah.
He has softened me in ways that I didn't think I'd be softened. And having a boy child takes the mickey out of you, basi. Uba nomfana uzorelaxa.
Yeah.
Yabona mawula ukuthetha uthreatenisha
Yeah.
uzorelaxa. And then he's like, chill. Like, why are you hollering?
Why are you making noise?
It's not that deep. It's not that deep. I'm like, don't tell me it's not that deep.
Yeah.
And I catch myself by myself, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, you know.
Yeah.
So having a boy child, for me, has done that.
Yeah.
And he saved me in the sense that he's given me something greater to live for. Because when I remember being worried, what am I going to do And he's the reason that spurred me on to, okay, well, right now it's 9 months, you're not getting any roles, let's do a short course on something. Let's do a short course on something, because like I wanted to be that mom. He was just like, yo, my mom.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I wanted to be for him. You know.
I remember the other time we had a conversation and you said to me, I must enjoy Nema while she's still little because they grow so fast. I used to watch your content with him and he was the cutest little boy. You guys were having fun.
Yeah.
And then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he turned 12. That's what happened.
Yeah.
12. Right? So I had him and I could manipulate him and make him do anything he wanted, at least until the age of 10, 11. Show you 12, umuntu seka, seka big izandla la in front of the camera. He doesn't want to participate anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when we realize, okay, personalities are changing.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a meme. He says I must stop taking pictures of him because his friends screen grab it and then he becomes a meme and all of that. And then he also pulled a poppy act on me. Yeah. He was like, the poppy act. Like, I can't just put a video in front of it. I can't put my camera in front of it without his consent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you better poppy yourself out of here. You know what I mean? What do you mean?
Yeah. So I'm doing that now. After you told me that, I'm enjoying because I know those days are coming.
Yes.
Where now this person is big and they don't want to chill with you. They don't want kisses.
But I think it's different with girls. I think when you've got a best friend.
I do.
I have a protector, Right. I remember I went out thinking I was like 8 and he was like, you're not going out like that. And I was like, excuse me. I look better than most 20-year-olds. And he's like, no, Mom, I can't have you looking like this. Like the girls in my grade just like this. So I realized, okay, like we're very protective. You know what I mean? And this is 12, 13. Yeah. Now it's even worse.
It is,
But with you've got a daughter. I think you're going to be best friends for forever.
I hope
Maybe you're not going to get her to sing and dance like you used to.
Yeah.
But like you've got a best friend in her. I don't see it stopping as soon as this one at 12.
Yeah. And then how do you when you spoke about the diagnosis, balancing that, like making sure that mentally when we are parents, there's a lot that happens in our heads because you have to make sure that you are present.
Yes.
But at the same time, you are going through, right now you're growing. We are growing as we are.
As they grow.
Yes. And that's the truth. I mean, like you said, you were 24. You were young.
Yes.
You were not a teenager, but you were young.
Yes.
You were also like growing. How have you tried to make sure that you balance the mental health? I don't know if balance is the right word, but just trying to make sure that I have a child now who is looking up to me for everything. I have to make sure that I take care of myself mentally.
I'm so grateful for this question because I was having that conversation just like on Thursday.
Yeah.
About, okay, so I mean, we haven't discussed it yet, so I don't know if I want to set it up for you.
You can, please.
So Ruri's currently in Australia.
Yes.
And that has not been easy because like we're at distance, we're oceans apart, literally continents apart, right? I've never felt the need or the urge to be more together and to invest in my mental health more so now, because he might be oceans away, but when he picks up that video call and he FaceTimes me, there's something he's looking for. Yeah. When he, you know what I mean? Like there's a saying that says when kids walk into a room, right, they basically look for the ones whose eyes, how much your eyes light up when they walk in. So just think of like, picture a baby, when they walk into a room and the first person goes, hello, Nana, uvugilu, Nana. That's what children look for. How much of my mom's eyes light up when I walk in the room. So can you imagine if I'm not taking care of my mental and he's trying to connect with me and I'm not in the right mental and the most emotional space, I'm robbing him, So I've made a concerted effort in sleeping well. Like if I don't get my 10 hours of sleep, I say I'm a nightmare. So my sleep, I don't mess around with. The food that I eat, I'm aware that it does affect my mood, it affects my hormones, it also affects just the entire running of my body for it to run at its optimum. So also eating well. Hikes, I do my hikes. I love the spa. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive for me now, but then if I could live in the spa Monday to Friday, I would.
Me too.
So these are the things that I'm taking, Uzotini. Like I'm making a concerted effort because I now realize that I have someone that's just from hello, he can hear, or mama is not okay or all right. So it hits different. So I've never felt more now to take care of my mental than I have when he was with me physically. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, because it's a soul thing now. It's an emotional thing. It's not physical.
Yeah. And kids have a way of seeing us through see us.
They see through us.
They see through us.
They know it.
They see even on the phone.
When
like
you're not
saying,
okay.
Yeah.
When you're even if you try to go, hello, Papa, and he goes, he'll know, Mom, what's wrong? You know what I mean? So yes, it's almost like, I wouldn't say having a boyfriend, but like this is someone I'm constantly having to be ready for, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
Like, if when I'm because I've got this person who's gonna video call me and I need to be on for him.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
And you know, our parents used to say, or still say, things like having one child, you have to have 2 kids because so that they can, you know, grow together. But in this case, when he left, obviously it's a great opportunity. He's doing well. Didn't you feel like, if I had a second child, or if I had a child, was there ever that void? Obviously, he can't fill that void because he's there. But you know, like when you have 2 kids, at least you have someone who's sitting there.
No, the thought did cross my mind, but what came to me was like, wow, I don't have another one. You know what I mean? So I was like, Nandi, you know, we're taking this step. I don't have another person. I don't have another one. This is all I have. You've got my heart. So take care of this treasure of mine, because I feel like it's even more of a bigger thing to do, because njengobusho angilona 16 sekahambile, at least if nginalona 8 ngizoleke ngikhuluma naye ngidlale, you know, and whatnot. And keep his talk, but there is nobody else, you know. And I'm grateful that that he has a step brother that he gets to grow up with, and I'm also grateful that there's a nephew that he also grows up with, because there is no other. And I'm not about to create a child because manje kufuneka ngilamise you know, these are souls we're dealing with.
Yeah, true. True. Not just, it's not like you're getting another dog.
No.
Yeah. And would you have one now if the opportunity?
My darling, I'm 40.
Okay.
Uri is 16.
Yeah.
And you're going to judge?
No.
The age gap is 16 years.
Judge.
I don't think so. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But God willing, if he decides to bless me with a husband, and obviously if the husband says that you're gonna have to have one for the marriage, I guess, but no.
16.
That's a huge
I'm
gap.
sure you forgot knowledge when you were pregnant.
My darling, I don't even have the tolerance. I'm saying that patience.
And being a mom to a teenager, I'm sure there's so many people who watch Mommy Diaries who are moms to teenagers. I can't relate yet because she's not a teenager yet. How is it, especially being a teenager to a boy? Sure. I had a guest the other day, Marjorie, and she spoke about her experience, which was very interesting. You know, watching her boy grow. Yeah. She spoke about things like now, you know, there's girls, relationships, having to have that conversation. How's that?
Can I just clear my throat?
That's okay. Are you swallowing?
Excuse, I have to?
Yeah, it is well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure. It's like a heartbreak. I'll be very honest with you. A very slow, gentle one. Because you start off with this person who cannot live without you. You know, like when you even go to the toilet, but like you're like, can I just have a moment in the loo, wherever you go now, with mommy, and I miss the hugs and, you know, those wet kisses when they're still young and they don't know how to control their saliva, and you've got kisses and dirty hands on your face, to I can do it myself now, to now I'm too cool, don't like park here, don't come out, park here, and if mama, you're gonna drop me off wearing a gown, you're embarrassing me. So you go through these little phases of this person doesn't need me. And when he started high school, I literally saw him change. Like, he didn't need me anymore. He didn't want my approval. It's almost like the volume is like just going on mute. And the highest volume right now are his friends and his peers. And what I have to say doesn't matter. And that's the heartbreak. But then they say that they'll come back. Apparently they go away because they have to find themselves. And then as they grow, they come back. So I'm in a literally, he's gone away. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that he'll return.
Did you ever find yourself crying when you, like, was there any other moment that you can share with us when you realized, oh my God, my baby's grown, besides him going to Australia? That
Sure.
made you
It was
emotional?
definitely, it was definitely last year. He was at a different school, and he thanked us for sending him to that particular school because he realized what a nightmare and nuisance he was at the previous school. And that's when I realized, like how does a child get to sit his parents down and actually thank them for the sacrifices that we've made? I mean, he's told me many times, and I'm happy to share with you, Basi, where we might have not been in the right space, and because co-parenting isn't easy. And when he sat me down and he's like, Mom, thank you, I appreciate the effort you make with Dad and Nans, that's when I know you know, I've ran out of baby kindati. Whatsoever, lady sacrifice. You know what I mean? To even see that, because some kids would be oblivious to the sacrifice and what it takes, because it's not easy. You know? And the personalities are not easy. So, so that's when I realized, and that's when I knew, good, okay, if we're going to do this, then I feel safe enough to let him go. Because realize.
And that was that one thing that you wanted, like Australia kwa awas khoa. Are yo, lento le ngifunde kumama.
Oh my God, he's already doing it. Nandi the other day was like, thank you so much for the house training, because I don't have to tell Ruri what to do when it comes to making up the bed and cleaning up after herself, because I have OCD. So I was always just like on his case. So I think he got tired of being shouted at so much, to the point where he just now gets on with it. So to get that kind of feedback is very interesting. You know what I mean? Given that we do live very different lifestyles, and there are kids that are catered for, if you know what I mean. They have helpers and all of that, and that side is very, very different. So for them to be able to adjust, it goes to show Wuti, I never being grounded. I think I ground Ruri. And I'm grateful what it's showing now.
And so, I think he needed that balance.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
You
the
are
balance.
making
Because sometimes
sense.
Sending kids, like how we do it, sending kids back home to my mom, it's a reminder for them to be I don't know, to be grounded. Because we wanna raise kind kids.
Yes.
We wanna raise kids who understand how malapa hatswani.
Yes.
So that balance, I see it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
And being
as you
able to
explained it.
adjust, yes.
Being able to adjust.
Being able to adjust with, yes, you know, when we're in the hood, you were in the hood, and you must be able to fit in. And when you're in a certain space, you're in a certain space. Nothing's too great for you. You know what I mean? You should be able to adjust at any time. And I teach him that. Which you need to be able to, because they look sheen, it's different. No one gives a shit. So no one
gives a damn.
No one gives a damn. You know what I mean? No, for real.
That's true.
You know, else you're gonna have
That's
nightmare.
true. Yeah.
But if it's
yeah, that's true. Because you don't want the spoiled bread. And I get it now. We at least to be able to provide for our kids, and for them to be able to get the things that we didn't get. But at the same time, we want kids will be able to understand both. That's important. And some parents are not getting it right. And I don't think parents, I'm not sure who to blame.
Who's to blame? It's parenting. I mean, one of the biggest compliments I get, and I get it, our kids are privileged, is everybody says they can't get over how well-mannered and grounded. And that's all I ever want. Umntwana was uyiphatha kahle, abulisa abantu abadala, please and thank you, apologize when you're wrong. Little things like that. You know what I mean? So that's a little...
I get it, like on the back. Okay. You did well. Because how about you?
What a spoiled brat.
That's so true. And I also don't want that. I pray that it doesn't happen, and I see it already that it's not going to happen, because you want a child who will be able to hlompa batho ba holo.
And kindness goes a long way.
But now I do medicine. Mutho a kena o go sane bona neng woo. It can happen.
As much as I'm a cool mom, Rui also knows I'm a tiger mom.
And how did you balance the whole thing of trying to be his friend? Because it's important to be friends with our kids and being a mom. How did you balance that? Being able
There is no balance. We're not friends. I tell him very quickly, just because we shot a video and we're rapping to Jay-Z does not mean I won't drag you. and uzongenzela show phambi kwabantu uzokwenzela show phambi kwabantu.
Yeah.
Ururuke wangenza lezo zinto sise shopping center cabanga ukuthi rahara bathu. I'm concerned about being Thuli Thabethe, so she's not gonna shout. Ngamenzela show phambi kwabo. He never did it again. Don't try me. I need to tell
on the floor.
Oh, this is snacks. I'm thinking which I'm not gonna reprimand him about. Mama is concerned about the image.
Yes.
Show. Why are you doing this to me? I'm embarrassed and I'm showing he never did it again. Darling, we can perform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You spoke about taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Which I picked it up a lot on your social media. You know, your stories, you like the hiking, your short lefts.
Yeah.
How have those helped you in a way? Like especially traveling. I'm not saying you travel every day, but every time I see your story,
there's a short left in yan.
Yeah, I'll call them
going overseas, my darling. We'll put it in the universe.
Yeah, why? It's a malwen. So like, you know, the short left it's a how they so you get a so true. Who's taking those pictures, Thuli?
Mommy Diaries.
Who's taking those pictures? But anyway, it looks like
I have a film crew.
You have a Zandi who takes content. They look so peaceful. You look so peaceful when you're in that space. Was it like a conscious decision for, you know what? This is what I'm going to do to make myself happy?
Yes and no. I grew up watching my dad do these things, right? Okay. And I just thought he was just being bougie. Because this thing has always been there. And I just thought, my dad's just like one of those Zen people. Mm-hmm. But then I started to realize that with the demands of work, I mean, if you're working 12 hours a day, sometimes it's 5 days a week, sometimes it's 6 times a week. And your body literally feels like it's going to explode.
Yeah.
And you need to decompress.
Yeah.
So, I mean, over the long run, through trial and error, you realize that the drinking or the smoking or whatever it is that you're doing to self-numb and disassociate or just suppress isn't working. So I started to employ different strategies. You know what I mean? And I realized that there's people that are activated by people. And then there are people that are activated by being alone and solitude. And I'm one of those, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Like if the battery is low, all I need is just to be obviously not in a room full of a crowd. My partner and I will go and we'll take a short left. And it's just, you know, just a time to be alone. And
so alone is you can go with your partner.
No, you can obviously be in solitude.
You don't travel only one. Have you been away only one?
I've done quite a few by myself, really? And then obviously I've had a partner who travels with me. But just to be alone, it's please do it. But I think it's an age thing. If you had told me this in my 30s, I'd be like, ew. Like I would judge people, like they tell you to take yourself out on a dinner.
Imagine not chewing alone.
Chew by yourself. Have that steak by yourself. Have that beautiful glass of wine by yourself. Go to the coffee dates and read a book by yourself. You know, not all the time because we need people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm totally activated by solitude. So my battery gets recharged by just decompressing, being alone, and then I'm Bob's your uncle and I'm back.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm an empath. So abantu bayasinda, bayankathaza. And there's also demands. You've got to be on for the camera. You've got to be on and on. You know what I mean? So when you have the moment to go, and just take that mask off, it's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't have to be on for anybody.
How do you deal with being an empath? It's a lot.
I didn't even know this until 2 years ago. Thank God for lockdown, guys, where we had to go in and figure out terms like the empath. I didn't even know. I was just like, why am I easily affected by people's energies? And then I was like, what does it mean to protect your energy? So before you can even start to define what protecting your energy looks like, you need to understand what your human and energy type is. And that's how I realized that I'm an empath, because I can pick up on people's energies. I can read a room. Yeah. If something is off immediately, I can feel it, you know. And you have to brave through it. And then when you've got the time, you need to release. So it started off with long showers. Long showers until your mother tells you, hey, you know, little things like that. Where you realize you're just going to have to take care of yourself a little bit more.
Do you think that's the reason why most people buy batwasa? maybe they don't know how to differentiate between. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You're making absolute sense. I think it's a good question that you ask, because there is quite a correlation or a routine between mental health and the spiritual journey.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily think ukuthi sonke kumele siyotwasa, but I do know that most people that are spiritually gifted are sensitive.
Very.
And I get that, because you have to be able to look and listen. And you've got to be sensitive enough to be able to pick up what your guys or your ancestors are saying. And you can't be that if you're not open and sensitive enough. So the trick is to learn how to buffer, because there are things that must go through and there are things that must just stay where they are. Or else
And then what helps you with the long showers? What else to help you just to release from observing? Because I'm asking this for myself.
Okay, cool. So I have different methods for different things. So like when I'm teaching, it's a different emission of energy, because then I'm activated by those kids. When I'm working, it's different. So yes, on a weekday, I would definitely run myself a hot bath and I spoil myself. You know, it's like it's a cheap vacation. You know what I mean? So run a hot bath, got my oils, got my salts, and you decompress that way. Some people choose to journal. Some people choose to do yoga and just have a meditation. But it's anything that gives you the space to check in.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And with us, a lot of us, we are governed by a call sheet, because you have to be somewhere at a specific time. You have to be. So for the first time, do something where you don't have to be somewhere. You're where you want to be. You know what I mean? And I get that, because we are dictated to by 5 o'clock.
You must be there.
6 o'clock in the chair. 7:30 to shoot. 12 o'clock, you know. Yeah.
And teaching, how's that going?
It is the best thing I've ever done for myself.
Really?
I love it. It's the soul work. It really, really is. It saved me, especially when I wasn't booking work. You start to, you know, have a bit of a low self-esteem. Am I not good enough? Have I reached my sell-by date? Am I getting old? Because, you know, you move from being offered roles and being booked and busy to now I need to audition. You know what I mean? I'm no longer on the wish list anymore. Now I audition, if you know what I mean. And that's not a testament to my talent. That's just got to do with the industry. I was talking to Lerato Mvelase just a week ago, and we're like, the industry has always been youthful. We always say, industry has always been youthful.
So true.
If you think about it, Yizo, all the stories, even City Sesla,
it's happening now. Youngings,
even back then, was Soul City,
backstage.
Soul Buddies, backstage. It's always been youthful, and the big roles you often get as a support, you're always a mom or someone's aunt or a guardian. But the lead roles were always given to the young, and now things have changed for us. Like now we're getting older, we're no longer getting the leads, we're playing the support. Someone's mom. And so you have to learn to see how to pivot. So some of us are studying, some of us are trying out new ways to exist and not wait to be called. You know, because that's also part of the depression. And that's essentially the nature of our work.
That's so true. When you say that, it's like high school. It's always in with the new, out with the old all the time. Have you always what are you leading roles and stuff? Like, I'm looking at myself, ne? Since high school, since I've never been number one.
Beautiful.
You know, and I got to appreciate it now. Because when you're young, I was always overlooked. I can't understand. I've never been the prettiest girl mo groupung. I've never been number one in class. I was Miss Personality. Why when I get a Miss Personality was I getting number one? And then you get go scandal. For the longest time I was supporting stories up until you grow, and then the role. The demands and stuff like that, the storylines and stuff like that. But looking at my life, and I'm realizing, top of, I'm top of.
No, I get you.
How is it like that with you?
So what's the magic for you? Because you said you've discovered over time.
The magic for me is I haven't hit my ceiling yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you asked this question again. It's almost like you're a fly on the wall, Wena, I recently kind of completed like a self-assessment, and the one of the things that came out was that I operate best when I'm of service and of love. And you cannot be of service and of love if you cannot support. And then I started to realize, also me, I actually don't want to be a number one. I play a great support. And how that was defined for me was when I played Beauty on Isibaya. Menzi was Judas and he was lead. I was very happy playing his conduit. I was very happy playing his support. And I realized that that's also the role I play outside of the camera. Is I am quite a supportive person as a big mom, as a sister, as a friend. Even when I teach, I'm able to have one-on-one sessions and play a supportive role in the sense that I hold up a mirror to my students, and everybody's like, "Oh, ma'am, you're so amazing." I'm like, actually, all I did was just really hold a mirror, and I'm just a reflection of you. And I'm parenting myself in the sense, Yoguti, I didn't have the support I had when I was 19 and 20. So if I can give that to you so that you can have a greater sense of self and make better decisions, then I'm happy to be and serve as that conduit. So there's magic in being second best because there's always something to look forward to. When you're number one, where do you go?
You've hit the ceiling.
But then, if you're number two, you can always be runner-up.
Yeah.
You can always strive to be number one.
Yeah.
And number one is nip up and place ni.
Yeah.
My darling, it is hard work. Istori sikuwe, singawe. You're the subject. So every scene you're there. Yeah. And nobody tells you how hard that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my lesson. Like, I think I'm asking you because I can sense...
Even
the
with
same.
me, I've
with
always
you.
played support, which is actually great.
Because in life, we can't always, even in real life, you can't always be the leader when you're in the groups.
Absolutely, but also knowing your lane. Yeah. If you know how you operate in your lane, you're able to play your role even better. Yeah. Because now I know because of the energy reserve I require for myself as a human, as an actress, that I'd rather be the wind beneath your wings, and I'm better at doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And as a mom, when you look back, what's your greatest success?
Oh,
your greatest success
as a mom. Oh, there's many. My greatest, besides being Rui's mom and learning so much about myself, I would say the biggest is the level at which I've been able to contribute to and maintain my co-parenting relationship. I mean, when we started out, Basi, I'll be open and vulnerable, Tabo's quite like, I wouldn't call him controversial, but like he treads where angels fear to tread. And he was just like, yeah, it's the first day of school, I'm going to take a selfie. And we were just like, oh my God, we're not ready, oh my God. And he took a selfie and he posted it. And it got really great reviews. And there was like, there was like some were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then some of them were like, this is a PR stunt. And so because of those naysayers that were saying PR stunt, we had the impetus to even carry on, because we kind of realized that Lintesianzayo is not normal. It's not easy and inkulu. So izo zanezinto zakhona, my challenges akhona. And I'm not saying it's easy. We have our ups and downs. We have days where we fight and we don't talk to each other. But what I love is that we have been able to be old enough, mature enough to make bold decisions for our children despite how we feel. Because I don't think if I was a bitter ex, I would have like, we happy. I'm going to keep her low, JC. And now I'm blocking my child's opportunities for having a good life or a better life or being set up for better opportunities because now I'm hindering my child because I've got unfinished business. Yeah. Can you see how sometimes when two people fight, there's a saying that says when elephants fight, the grass and the ground gets hurt, and the grass is the children.
The children, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what advice would you give to moms out there? Maybe they've just broken up with their partners. It's still new. It's still new, and they don't know. Like you're saying, it feels like when it comes to, because I'm also in a co-parenting relationship, okay? Co-parenting
partnership. Okay, because you must include the other partner, and the partner must also acknowledge you. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even get off.
No.
And I'll be the first one to say it wasn't this easy. I was a nightmare. And she was always there trying, and I'm like, pride, ego, bitterness.
Yeah.
Until you realize like this person's not going anywhere, and yes, I'm tandem they need to uyenzi show
Yeah.
or usapitch or audition.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years. I mean,
It's such a blessing.
she's still here, you know.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to parents, moms and dads who are struggling a bit with co-parenting?
Okay, so first of all, is that my camera? I would say this. Don't try this at home. And I say this in jest, in the sense that, you know, Nandi's Nandi, I'm me, and Tabo's Tabo. So we cannot say that it'll turn out the same.
Gotcha.
Because we are different people and different personalities, and our temperaments are not the same.
Yeah.
So I can only share from my perspective, because it's not a one size fits all, right? Is you really have to get to a point where you're over the BS.
Yeah.
And the hurt.
Yeah.
And the anger. And I'm not saying that I was never hurt and angry. I was for a long time. Until I started realizing how that is going to affect my child's development. I remember there was a time where he was 7 years old, and there was like you know, at the end of the year, those nativity plays, where they do the end year things. Yeah. And he asked, are both of you coming? And it was the anxiety and the tremble in my son's voice when he said, are both of you coming? Because he didn't trust that we were in the right space enough to be in the same space. So he was just like trying to manage, oh no, my mom and my dad. And I was just like, that's just too much of a burden. You're 7 years old. Yeah. You shouldn't be worried if both your parents are going to be at your show. You should be very excited. Yeah. And obviously that's because of the stuff he had kind of seen between the two of us. And he was like, these two. And then that's when I realized that I'm going to have to change my act. I'm going to have to put a lot of the things that I was struggling with, which also forced me to start dealing with my own issues in order to put him first. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for Thabo. And I have to say this because a lot of people think because of his personality, hectic. I actually admire Thabo's maturity for being able to see past certain things and having the patience. Yeah. And he said, I don't know how long it's going to take, but whatever you do to leak, I can't speak so don't paraphrase me. I couldn't mess with that. You know what I mean? He's not trying to not say I don't want to be there. He's saying, despite it all, I just want the boys to just grow up together. And if you can just give me that. And so for me, it was like, how can I argue with that? Because he's like, I don't want either of my kids to feel like this one had it more because the mom was here or not. I want to give my boys equal opportunity. Yeah. I want to set them up. Yeah. So allow me to do that. And the only way that's going to happen is if, you know, and so he was the mature one, and I was the one for a long time, like.
And it happens because it automatically happens, and I'm saying this because when my dad left my mom, that's what happened. Where the ones they were not even his kids. In this case, at least
yeah. But they had more.
And when you go and ask for something, no, I just had to I had to give Thuli money. And Thuli's not your child.
I'm glad you said that. We decided to do that with Nandi, right? Not to say Thabo was ever like that, but we realized very early that if we don't tag team, not to say he was like that, but I wouldn't want to find myself in a position where he's like, yo, I couldn't do this because Nandi, and I couldn't do this because Zuri. So we would tag team and say, what we doing? Back to school, uniform. We'd like fees paid up front this year before blah. So now we're tag teaming against him. He didn't see that coming. Because traditionally,
women must hate each other.
So Tina, so we're like,
hey, why can't we get that part right?
So we dribbled him and he realized, oh damn, you know.
And it's working out for everyone.
For everybody.
Why can't we be like that as women? Like,
it's not easy.
It's not easy, ne?
Like, but see, I'm not gonna sit here and start airing my dirty laundry. And
no. I'm just saying
I just also want people to know that it isn't easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a partnership that you choose, and you keep choosing each other every day. It's like, oh my goodness, there are times where I don't want to answer the phone, but I have to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see you right now, but I have to.
Yeah.
And then you come back to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think people are not willing to have the conversation.
Yeah.
And also maybe it's too painful to start because there's history. And I think that's where it gets messy, because there's too much history.
Yeah. I personally admire it, especially like I just told you now with what I went through. I hated my dad for the longest time. You know, I forgave him just before he died because I was like, why would he do that? Like, why were those kids more important than me and my sister? You know, you go and ask for a matric dance dress. And then the person and we went to the same school. So we see it.
That hurts.
You know what I mean? You see it as a child. You see how these children are taken care of. They're not even his biological children.
But he's able to do this.
But
I think it's also the woman. And I think I've been blessed enough to have, like for me, one of the conversations we had with Unandi in the beginning was how she always made it a point that it didn't matter where we were in terms of whether we're speaking or not. At the end of the day, she's Ruri's mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So also, it was also her. If it wasn't for her, and
so true.
She also created the soil so that for us to be able to plant.
Power
So
to her.
mama basile, they would be like, well, you're done with that.
Yes.
It's wrong.
Or
When a guy breaks up with a woman and then you think you're gonna badmouth your baby mama to me and impress her. You're only exposing yourself. If you're gonna call your baby mama crazy and you think I'm gonna think it's cute, like the next thing I'll be crazy. You know what I mean? Or you think you're doing things to impress me, but you don't look after your kids. That's not sexy.
I hate such words. I'm triggered. What makes you happy?
Cheese money.
Yeah,
money really makes me happy.
But like I wanna see it. I wanna like how Bula app. I wanna see it.
Me too.
I don't spend. I'm not a luxury. What. But like I don't born.
Me too.
Why born no?
Not the way in which I'd like it to.
Yeah,
but yeah. But apparently they say the love of money is the root to all evil.
Money we don't want money snake.
Yeah.
Like money how about Zanzibar you can go.
You know, or guys. Like I told my partner to buy me a money counting machine because there's just something about it just gets me going. Have you heard when it goes
So you have that?
Just go to it. I can't must manifest.
So but like in the house, when what happens?
No, my corner, I need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yes.
So you want the sound, yeah? What makes you? Yeah. And what makes you sad?
Wow. You know, in my 20s and 30s, it used to be like injustice. Like I still get really upset when you hear the wrong things happening, and people not being held accountable.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad. I have a very soft spot or a very soft place for just your injustices, like to young children and women. It just really breaks my heart, and the ways of the world. But also another thing that makes me unhappy now that makes me sad is not being able to have my personal freedom. And by personal freedom, it's just the freedom to just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have to wear different masks and wear different hats so that we can fit into different places and accommodate different places. And that can be very exhausting.
It's a lot, yeah.
And I just wish I could just bring my authentic self at all times. So when I'm not being able to do that, whether it's being a creative, being a mom, being a friend, being a sister, it hurts me.
Yeah.
Because now it means I need to. I'm already an actress, so don't get me to do it when the cameras aren't rolling. You know. You know.
Yeah. And lastly, when we talk about mental health, what advice would you give to moms who are still in denial about trying to face it and finding out what the problem is? Because we deal with a lot, and there's postpartum depression, there's anxiety, and a lot of things are going on in our lives as parents. Whether you're doing well in your career is neither here or there. What advice would you give to moms who are still in denial about it?
Yeah, denial is a thing. I recently learned this lesson. I was in the village in December, And part of the lessons that I'd learned there was I was told Obuhale Thuli. Am I saying it right? Obuhale, right? And obviously, when you're in surviving mode, there are certain things and things that you pick up because you kind of learned along the way. This personality or the way I carry myself serves and it works for me, it protects me. Then there comes a point where it no longer serves you. So if you're in denial and the ways in which you've been operating, whether you're numbing or you're suppressing or you're disassociating or you just keep telling yourself, get over it, and it's over a period of days or even weeks, you need to get out of your head and get into your body. And I know this sounds metaphoric, but when we're in our head, we're operating from ego. And ego often lies to us because it's like, what do you think? Who the hell do you think you are? What do you mean? But the minute you start getting into your body and you start asking, why am I the way that I am? Why do I feel the way that I feel? Why do I do things the way that I do? And you start asking the whys. You start getting back into your body, and your body will never lie to you. True. So the worst thing we do as women is we deny ourselves that ability to even listen to our intuition because you're already second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
So I would say listen to your body, and it usually doesn't lie to you. The tears are there for a reason. The mood swings are there for a reason. Being irritable, losing patience, all those things where you just think, like, why am I just not feeling okay, is there for a reason. Whatever's coming up to the surface is saying, deal with me now.
Yeah.
So whatever's coming up for you, not being able to sleep, not being able to eat, not being able to even come to terms with day-to-day things like bathing, tidying up around yourself. The tasks that take you 30 minutes take you an hour. You need to ask yourself what is going on and listen to your body. And until then, denial is and one thing about this condition is it'll wait. It's like grief. It'll wait for you. Also try, you beg. It's we're doing this. Okay. When you're ready, and what grief will do and depression will wait for you until you decide to feel what you need to feel.
Yeah. Sure.
And I know timing, and I know the manners. I Thursday gatlane. Yeah. It's da. Yeah. So toilet ungaimiselang it's da. What's going on with me, Jojo?
Yeah. You are so right. Yeah. And what's new for Thuli? What should we look forward to? Like
I recently got signed on to a job. I'm very excited about that.
Shayzanda.
Yes. And I'll also be doing something very, very interesting in theatre soon. Oh, wow. And that for me feels like the best 40th birthday gift you can get as an artist. Like there's just something about theatre that says you're 40, you're grown, you're whole. And I'm interested to see what is it that I can offer as an artist at the age of 40. So it's a nice one that I'm looking forward to.
I can't wait.
And I'm also traveling soon, and I hope this will come out on time because I'm ngizongqalisela nge-content of Australia.
We can't know the destination yet, ne?
No.
Yeah, no. For security purposes, local or overseas.
It's both local in terms of work. And I'll be going to see the young man. And that's an exciting one because he wants to show me his school and everything that he's doing that side. So that's exciting.
It is exciting. God is good, hey?
That's why I say I feel held by guningi.
Yeah.
Not to say things are perfect, but I just feel held.
Yeah.
And supported.
Yeah. Modimo ha apare short pants.
Modimo
apara long pen and modimo wa re rata kaofela.
Amen.
I'm so happy.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you. I learned so much.
I
think more than anything, like I said, I'm like you. I don't follow people just in J. I pay attention as well. And you following each other has made me in a way feel like I know you.
Yes.
Just with the little snippets that you post on your stories. And I really pray to God that He blesses you and your child.
Thank you.
And your journey. You are the light. You are the light, and keep on going to the light because you're just amazing. There's something about you. I don't know how to place it or what to say, but like I adore you and admire you.
Thank you.
And thanks for entertaining us. And your mom prophesied how we're gonna have a sitcom together.
You know what?
So we must do it.
I really would do well.
We must play Friends and a sitcom. Get to a base. So let throughout the interview.
Lord.
There is nothing
You're
painful
gonna kill
in
me.
life than tsoape le bra. Am I the only one?
I'm joking.
Move meds.
Oh, Pastor,
Mate,
you're
okay.
gonna kill me.
Mara, am I lying? Tsoape e
Ne bra e
bohloko.
buhlungu, guys.
Le bra e bohloko. How do you deal with that? Le ka tsoape?
Oh my God. I just sit through it, Basi.
I did.
And when I get a chance, I just release it. I just had a snort.
Thank you so much for coming.
I hope you're not cutting. I want to say thank
okay.
you for the platform
Yeah.
that you've given for young women in the space. And I also admire your ability to identify opportunities for yourself because our industry is tough. And this girl is ambitious. She's not waiting to be called. She's like, yay, while I'm still on Scandal, while I'm still on this, what is it I can do to use my name, my face, and my voice to open doors for me? And I think that's admirable, the way you put yourself out there, Basi. It's incredible.
Thank you so
May
much.
you grow. May you have more viewers. May you have more sponsorship and more money so that the conversation and what you're contributing is even more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Ooh, Mama, I made it to Mommy Diaries.
Okay.